most reverend archbishops, bishops, esteemed guests, major superiors, superiors of the communities, brothers and sisters, to shorten my words, I avoid spelling out each names. I only want to add a few words of felicitation, words of appreciation, acknowledgement, recognition over the history of 50 years. I would not wish to repeat. I may need 1 hour. But I would like to end with a few words of appreciation. I was drawn to the motto of the Jubilee, hearts kindled with fire, feet on the move. I think the great visionary Archbishop Pariyara, Archbishop Dominic Athed were such visionaries whose hearts were burning with fire, feet moving forward, but they could not do it by themselves. I, with great admiration, acknowledge the understanding of the missions in North India 50 years ago and now has gone through a lot of change. But 50 years ago, short of personnel, resources, area is vast. Agra mission that comprised of Nepal, Tibet, and an entire greater part of Uttar Pradesh, which became Mirror Diocese later, and that's how the territory was such. And is indeed the visionary missionary Dominic Athed certainly would have welcomed, and the generous smiling face of Archbishop Pariyara. I remember as a new priest I made a retreat with him in Lucknow, and I was given the charge of taking him to the Nainital hills. He was a good conversationalist, storyteller, and I learned from him a lot. Gazing at his face, I revived his words. Very witty words, untiring. Hours together, winding roads till Raniket, Nainital, and Jolikot and Kathgodam. I brought him back in the same car to Lucknow. So while I was a new priest, a budding missionary, I had the privilege of interacting with Father Kuruvilla Kokat, who was visiting Lucknow, and I learnt later he was keen to visit all government officials, and he was very thorough with each of them. I happened to be interacting with him with admiration. I thought he was narrating a myth of the mission. Two names have been repeated often. I owe them a lot, not just to bishops come to an agreement, but ground level missionaries are these two great men who have left the marks of their feet in this soil. Coming to the context of Jubilee of 50 years, I owe a lot to Etawah. When I came in 2007 to Agra, Etawah mission was an enthusiasm to me. I never refused. Practically every mission, when occasions I made visits, I admired the simplicity of life of the fathers from Changanacheri coming newly here. A few probably did their studies in the north, but fluent Hindi, and identifying themselves with the rest of the people of the area, from Etawah to Kannauj, Mainpuri, Auraiya, those areas. So today I just want to confess, Agra Presbyterium has learnt a lot. It's not just a distant twinkling light, but our mutual interaction on spiritual exercises to social, cultural events. Etawah fathers were one of us. Even now I feel the same. We are no difference. So I felicitate our Etawah fathers who have generation after generation run the mission with the meaning and what So Pope Francis spelled out as a theme for the Jubilee year, participation, communion and mission. To me, 50 years of practice, what we were doing here, participating personnel, communion of the clergy, diocesan priest spirituality is not to be defined, can't define it in one words. I remember interacting with our fathers without any definition. Naturally, they were living out their diocesan priest spirituality, often alone in the place, collaboration with the sisters, but when they came into interact with the Agra priests, there was no difference. I have an admiration to Father Thomas Edicut. Some lovingly call him Shaji. I like to call him Father Thomas with respect. So he has been a leader with no force, but his very presence inspires others. So therefore, on behalf of the clergy of Agra, good number of them came today, this morning, and I express my appreciation to the clergy of Etawah, and the new way of missioning is further enhanced by extending the area to Rajasthan. Agra, Rajasthan were one mission. Therefore, situation in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh is no much different, socio-economic, political. Therefore, the enrichment of the mission that is drawn from Etawah would be now moving forward into Rajasthan, where church will benefit at large, and so-called Agra mission will always take pride. When I interacted with the bishops over the years, some admired, how are you handling Etawah and Agra? There's nothing to handle, not a puppet show, nothing to handle. It goes on, each one once has one feet and they move on, and it's ideal missionary collaboration. In few words, I said, and I also added at that time, it's not simply legend, it's a legacy that will be passed on to generation after generation in the context of Indian missions. As a student of missiology and evangelization, I always admired what does it mean to be pioneering missionary. A few times I said, Allahabad Seminary deacons, you want to see pioneering missionary, take a week, move from mission to mission in Etawah. As a deacon, I did that in Varanasi. Therefore, there's exemplary missionary method, not just missioning as missioning, but evangelization by our presence, interaction with people, ordinary people, starting from the gatekeeper to the rickshaw puller to the higher officials in the government service. So therefore, I end my words, high appreciations to our organizers of the Jubilee 50 years, and this 50 years achievement is only a starting point. Entire nation, entire world is yet to receive the message of salvation. The beautiful day we have now, Divine Mercy Sunday, first Sunday after Easter, the fruits of the resurrection of Christ may be visible in the entire missions of Etawah, flown forward into Rajasthan and elsewhere. It is said it's not simply a territorial mission, but extra territorium proprium, so-called Shamshabad eparchy has its wing spread in this area. I don't call it all India territory, but extra territorial missioning. Wherever possibilities are there we are to announce the good news of salvation accomplished by Christ. We carry forward as his worthy successors on earth. I wish very well our local resident Bishop, Father Thomas, I call him local resident Bishop Thomas Pariyat, and his superior Bishop Prince in Shamshabad. May there be more such bishops overseeing the growth of the missions elsewhere. I'm not joking here, but we need, as Father Thomas did here, someone overseeing and directing and moving forward, encouraging the younger clergy. So may God provide us personnel and resources and methodology in the hard times we are passing through in our times. May God bless us all.